defense spending. Post-millennial reports as follows. Continuing resolution spending bill backed by President Trump passed with a vote of 217 to 213. Not a single Democrat voted for it, meaning the Democrats would have shut down the government. It'll fund the government until September 30, 2025. It's a continuing resolution. The bill needed the overwhelming support of the Republicans in order to pass. They lost one Republican, Tom Massey, who's basically a radical libertarian. I've often agreed with Massey, but what people need to understand, including him, is the word prudence. Prudence. There are times to vote no and there are times to vote yes. This is all there is to push through the president's spending cuts, tax cuts, these other things that need to get done. There's really no way around it. Number in the House is such that only 2 members of the GOP can oppose the measure if all members are present to push forward. House Speaker Mike Johnson this morning said we have to keep the government in operation. It's a fundamental responsibility of ours. J.D. Vance, who was there and spoke to them, echoed the sentiment. Let's see. President Trump focused on Massey, said Congressman Thomas Massey has an automatic vote of no on just about everything, despite the fact that he's always voted for continuing resolutions in the past. Actually, he hasn't. He's voted mostly against them. He should be primaried, and I will lead the charge against him. Just another grandstander who's too much trouble and not worth the fight, he wrote on Truth Social. Lawmakers have said the bill will cut $13 billion non-defense spending, as well as increase $6 billion for defense. The House Freedom Caucus, the conservatives, said its members would back the bill, adding it would reduce and then freeze spending for the next 6 months. Would reduce and then freeze spending for the next 6 months to allow President Trump and the administration to continue their critical work within the executive branch to find and eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, which, my God, they're doing on steroids. The bill will now go to the Senate, and if passed there, will then go to the president. If signed, the government shutdown deadline coming on Friday will be avoided. Now, I'm predicting right now Murkowski will vote against this. Murkowski is a radical Democrat in barely Republican clothing. That's right. And with what's happening with the Department of Education, she's bought and paid for by the teachers' unions. People don't realize that she gets an enormous amount of support from them. She's bought and paid for. She's owned by them. And she is their reliable vote. So that's the second big story going on right now, breaking right now. As I speak, Department of Education faces up to, according to ABC News, 50% layoffs after the closure notice just went out. Reduction in force. Mass layoffs are expected to start tonight. The sources said the reduction in force notices are expected to go out 11 minutes ago. So they went out 11 minutes ago. Nearly half of the department is expected to be eliminated. That announcement came shortly after the Department of Education employees were told their offices would be closed for the day on Wednesday. I don't know how many are there in the first place. Let me tell you something. This was a boondoggle from day one. It was absolutely unnecessary. It was a bureaucracy, a payoff, looking for a purpose. Education occurs at the state and local level, not at the federal level. We used to have a federal office of education that essentially oversaw the distribution of monies, Pell Grants, things of that sort, block grants to the states. When Reagan became president, he tried to get rid of it. But the Republicans in the Senate affirmatively blocked him. Remember, when Reagan won his massive landslide, he brought the Senate along with him. It was unexpected. One of the greatest popular election landslides and electoral election landslides in American history. Never seen anything like it. Still haven't ever seen anything like it. And you never will because of the change in demographics and so forth in the country. Donald Trump's landslide was a true landslide, but under different circumstances with a different population. It's the truth. But it was a massive landslide, Trump's victory. Now back to Reagan. I served in his administration for 8 years. One of the positions I held was as the principal deputy assistant secretary for elementary and secondary education. I've mentioned that in the past, distant past. Have I not, Mr. Producer? And what did we mostly do? We were a pass-through for money to states and localities, but we kept putting more and more requirements on it because the NEA and the AFT, what they couldn't get in local negotiating deals with local school boards, and what they couldn't get out of state capitals, they'd come to the bureaucracy, the Department of Education in Washington, to get federal mandates. What Reagan did, because his own Republicans in the Senate blocked him. And hopefully the Republicans in this Senate won't block Trump with his executive order reversing Carter's executive order. So he decided to have massive block grants where the vast majority of money that was rolling through the Department of Education for K through 12 will be sent in block grants to states and localities to spend as they saw fit with some very limited restrictions. President Trump still agrees with that, with what's left at the Department of Education. So many employees there and in these other departments really are completely unnecessary. Now, look, folks, Donald Trump didn't hide the ball. He said what he wanted to do. He said he wanted to slash government. He said he wanted to slash spending. He said he was all for tariffs. So even people who might disagree with him in the particulars, even if you do or I do, he said what he was going to do. And he was elected by a landslide on the basis of what he said. He's following up on what he said. He's following up on what he promises. Now step back and think about this. How do you cut the government without pissing off federal employees and their unions? How do you cut the government without ticking off the Democrat Party that's created 90% of this and is in their ideological DNA? How do you try and minimize, wrong word, how do you try to reduce and limit the power of the ruling class in Washington, D.C., because nobody's minimizing, but reduce it and not tick off the media, which is part and parcel of that ruling class? You don't. And the federal judges, so many of them, mostly Biden and Obama appointees, but yes, some Republicans too. They seem to think their job is to protect these institutions, the bureaucrats, the waste, the fraud, the abuse, the bloat from a duly elected president and his administration that's trying to deliver on what they promised. So all this stuff you're hearing, all this criticism you're hearing are mostly, not exclusively, but mostly from the people who voted against Trump, who opposed Trump, who supported the other side. Again, there are individual instances where that's not the case, but in a macro sense, it absolutely is the case. So the same organizations, the same groups, the same media, the same guests in the media, the same government union bosses, and on and on and on, who desperately did everything they could to elect Kamala Harris and defeat Donald Trump, are out there trashing Trump. And of course, getting all the media attention. You don't even hear from the people who actually support what Donald Trump is doing. You don't hear about the actual waste, fraud, and abuse, other than they're not going about it the right way. Like there's a right way. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. There's only one way. You got to get it done. You can't play by Marcus of Queensberry rules when the other side's using brass knuckles. subterfuge, sabotage, when they're doing everything they can in Congress to disrupt hearings, to disrupt information that's presented to the American people. For those of you who have suffered, your children have suffered through the pandemic. For those of you who've attended local school board meetings and been treated like dirt. For those of you who believe your school system is out of control, that they don't respond to local parents and so forth anymore, this is a godsend. Because all these groups and people turn to the Federal Department of Education, don't they, for help? For help. This is a tremendous advance. It's tremendous progress for the cause of actual education, educating children. The Democrats will fight like hell for the education department. They'll fight like hell for the education department in Washington, D.C. They'll fight like hell for the two big public sector teachers unions. We're massive contributors to them and man their precincts during the elections. They'll fight like hell for them. They fight against school choice. They fight against parental and child choice. They fight against anything that's not a government-run or government-controlled school. They do not care about children or education. That's right, I said it. I have fought this battle since I was 19 years old and elected to my local school board in Cheltenham Township, Pennsylvania, when I was in law school. It's the same battle. But now we have a president of the United States who literally is doing everything he can for the children of this country and their parents, for education. This is a major civil rights event. The Department of Education stands in the schoolway door, in the way of the school door. Prevent little kids who aren't getting educated, particularly in poor neighborhoods, from getting out and going to schools that are far superior, where there's no or fewer drugs and no or fewer crime. The president talks about liberation. This is a liberation day for education. It's not the only thing that can be done, but it is a big thing.
Stop.
It is a big thing.
Stop. Please. I'm trying to make a fucking sandwich, and I'm going to show something in a minute.
And all the people who've been
Don't fucking spam the chat, Patrick.
You and I, we're not going to cry.
Serious, Patrick. Stop now, or I'll time you out.
It's still going to be a massive.
Stop spamming the chat. You got something to say? Say it. Stop saying the same shit day after day after. I appreciate your support.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I'm going to make a sandwich. I ate some cornflakes, frosted cornflakes, but that ain't good. I got to have a sandwich. Stop spamming the chat, Patrick.
The Declaration of Independence is more than a bold letter to a British king written by upstart colonists, although it very much is that. The Declaration explains the promise of America, that all men and women are born equal in their possession of natural rights, and that the proper exercise of these rights can lead to a full and deeply satisfying life. Just as the Declaration explains America's promise, the Constitution upholds that promise. Its purpose is to protect the rights of all of us, our natural rights. This establishes the possibility, not the guarantee, that we can have a good life. This is true freedom.
To learn more and get a free pocket constitution, visit Constitution.
I bought Spick and Span.
Constitution Minute.
Fuck you, Alvaro. What the fuck are you going to do? Go ahead, Patrick. You can spam that fucker out of here. Go ahead while I make my sandwich. I don't think you support Alvaro, do you? Says he has an army. I got an army right there.
To the GW Parkway, where it lays in McLean, and again from the Springfield interchange to the Wilson Bridge. On southbound Route 1 at the Outskill Mills Road and Woodbridge, that disabled tractor trailer is still causing delays from Dale Boulevard. And in Loudoun County, there is an accident that has northbound Palisade Parkway closed between the Leesburg Pike and 777 Road. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tonight, mostly clear, low around 46. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high near 62. Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Want to get some good discounted food and dining options, reliable roadside assistance, preferred credit card offers, or fraud protection? You need to check out AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. No matter what your age is, you can take advantage of the services they provide for either yourself or your family, and have confidence that their partners stand behind the vision our nation's founders had to enrich the lives of all Americans through goods and services offered by like-minded companies. But joining AMAC isn't just about the benefits. It's about belonging to a community that stands for timeless American values. Regardless of your age, you can enroll in a 5-year AMAC membership for 47% off. Visit amac.us/SRS today to take advantage of this special offer. AMAC's membership is made up of Americans who believe in faith, family, and freedom. We're over 2 million members strong and growing. Their mission is simple: protect the interests of all freedom-loving Americans and offer incredible member benefits. From exclusive discounts on travel insurance and everyday services to supporting strong representation in Washington, D.C., AMAC's here to make a difference in your life and our nation. Visit amac.us/SRS today to join millions of Americans who believe in backing their mission. That's amac.us/SRS. Join AMAC and become a part of a movement that stands for you, your family, and your future.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs continues on PrizePicks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is so simple. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Download the PrizePicks app today, use the code ROAM, and get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on PrizePicks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in bonus credit just for playing, and it's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions and details.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook, because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
Green. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
What would you give for a child you loved to make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. You see, wishes are so powerful, and you can make them real. You can give a child back their childhood, even change the way they feel. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Wishes need stars like you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
I'm about to post the following, ladies and gentlemen. As a former Deputy Assistant Secretary for Elementary and Secondary Education under President Reagan, 3 cheers for President Trump's order slashing the size of the Education Department. We tried to do the same, but Senate Republicans blocked us. The department is utterly unnecessary, was the brainchild of the teachers' unions and the Democrat Party, and has done nothing effective to improve education throughout our country. Better to block grant funds to the states, run the Pell Grant program and other such statutorily based programs, out of a much smaller entity and promote school choice for America's parents and children. That's how it should be done. I will post that right now. I want to make sure that my full-throated support is provided on every platform that I have. There's more breaking news tonight. Unfortunately, we only have 1 minute left in the segment. When we come back, I'll let Marco Rubio himself, in a clip that we captured, tell you what's taking place. The Ukrainian government, the wonderful Ukrainian people, Ukrainian government unleashed well over 300 drones attacking the outskirts of Moscow, slamming into their apartment buildings, slamming into their civilian areas. Really, not a first, but a handful of times this has been done. And suddenly the Russian people are saying, wait a minute, they can hit us too? They can hit us too? Yeah, they can hit you too. More on that, more on what Marco Rubio has to say. I'll be right back. Folks, let me tell you something. You need to join AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, right now. I'm not kidding. You care about your country, your freedom, and your hard-earned money. AMAC is the organization that fights for you. Unlike that other so-called senior organization that's sold out to the radical left, AMAC stands for conservative values, limited government, lower taxes, protecting your Social Security, and defending our Constitution. And listen to this. Right now, when you sign up for a 5-year membership for just $31, normally $60, don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit amac.us/Levin, amac.us/Levin. Join today. AMAC is growing fast because patriots like you are joining the fight. They give you exclusive, unbelievable discounts and benefits on travel, insurance, and so much more. But most importantly, they give you a voice in Washington. So don't wait. Join the Association of Mature American Citizens. Go to amac.us/Levin, amac.us/Levin. Media station, making sense of the news. We start with 5.9. News now.
The UMAL News at 6:30. I'm Heather Curtis. Breaking this hour, the Department of Education plans to lay off 1,300 of its more than 4,000 employees. Secretary Linda McMahon moving toward her final mission of dismantling the agency. This news coming hours after employees were told to leave their offices by 6 tonight due to unspecified security reasons. A bill to avert a government shutdown this week is now on its way to the Senate after passing the House.
Yeas are 217, the nays are 213.
House Freedom Caucus Chair Andy Harris voting yes, saying the bill would reduce spending. Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton urging a no vote, saying it would require D.C. to cut $1 billion. Up next, traffic and weather.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Extras only available for TurboTax Live.
No Contest Wrestling. O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Jefferson with the biggest names in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, X-Pac. It's suspect at school. That's the number one thing people, when they meet me, they tell me.
Gentlemen, Liv Morgan.
I couldn't believe that was my
Drinks, no pun. DJ, he'll laugh.
I rarely do these anymore, but I was really looking forward to that.
No Contest Wrestling Podcast. Part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of the media.
The news media is attacking him because this is what happens when you're a Republican.
Let's plan. Weekdays 9 to noon.
Yeah, our news media. Billy.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Hi, I'm Joe Salciha, host of the Stacking Benjamin Show. We are diving into what should be in your little emergency go bag. What goes into your financial go bag?
Passport, driver's license, social security card.
Cash out of cards, my wallet.
The most important thing, your master password.
OG just gave us the guns. That's all he needs.
Come and get them.
You never knew personal finance could be this fun. What's a big can of Colt 45 cost?
Doctors Anonymous.
Dr. Pepper. Stacking Benjamins. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
making sense of Washington. So it happened again? Is that what you're telling me? Yet another guest of this program now has a job in the Trump administration. Vince Colonnade, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. The Trump transition team spending a lot of time on WMAL.com looking at all of the guests who have appeared on this program, which does bring a smile to my face. I do like that good people are getting good jobs. Vince Colonnade, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in the story, isn't there?
We're the only ones reporting this. News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Michael Rosenbaum and his Smallville co-stars take you behind the scenes of one of the greatest shows of all time.
Talk, Phil.
I just had a flashback.
Tom Welling's here.
We're going to do a podcast
Throughout the year, we've got a lot of season ahead of us.
Talk. This is good fan stuff.
Yeah, there was some good stuff.
Show. This is good stuff.
Yeah, on Smallville.
Yeah.
It's the first time they've seen the guy ball.
That's hard.
I thought it was pretty
dark.
It's Talkville.
We're pumped.
The Smallville Rewatch Podcast.
You got to be a part of it.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Making sense of your world. I agree with everything you're saying. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
We heard just wait for what's going on.
Making sense of the news. Know the news. The minute you wake up. O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. 5 to 9 a.m. on WMAL. Look at America's passionate leads, the real voice. Talk with that voice now. 877-381-3811.
Lots going on in this country, America. And most of it good.
Oh, I'm not talking about the left and the Democrats. No. We have an administration that's on the move. And most of it is good. All of it won't be good. That's the nature of the beast, no matter who the president is. But most of it, the vast majority of it, is very good. Marco Rubio in Saudi Arabia made this announcement not long ago. Cut one, go.
Today, we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. I want to personally we both want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, for hosting us, for making this possible. They've been instrumental in this process, and we're very grateful to them for hosting us here today. And hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes, that they'll say yes to peace. The ball's now in their court. And but again, the president's objective here is number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
Now we'll see, won't we? We shall see. Don't worry, I'm going to get to this guy, Mahmoud Khalili. I'll get to it. We've helped start all this. We've helped demand all this, starting in the Biden regime. The use of our immigration laws, the use of federal funding, use of our criminal laws to address the anti-Semitism that is spreading like a cancer throughout our universities and then beyond that. In the Democrat Party and among some of the pathetic morons on the quote-unquote right, where it seemed to be getting a foothold, a foot and mouth hold. So that's very good. What Ukraine is doing, I hope we sign that minerals thing sooner than later. That's what was supposed to happen, I thought, what was going to happen. Here's the National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, who was standing there with Marco Rubio. They were both in Saudi Arabia. Cut two, go.
We've discussed a number of things, prisoner exchanges, folks that were detained and what have you, but the fighting has to stop. I mean, that's what we agreed today. And just think about it. We've gone from, if the war is going to end, to now how the war is going to end. And this was an important first step. And that was under President Trump's leadership. He has literally moved the entire global conversation to where we had a very senior Ukrainian delegation with us today. We've had engagements with our Russian counterparts, and now it's how the war is going to end. And that's under President Trump's leadership.
And as General Jack Keane, former 4-star Army general, said on my program over the weekend, we're not going to see if the Russians are serious or not, or if their demands are so onerous that they simply cannot be met by any rational nation like Ukraine. And here's President Trump commenting on the events. Cut 3, go.
But very importantly, and I said it, Ukraine, ceasefire. Ukraine, ceasefire. Just agreed to a little while ago. Now we have to go to Russia, and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also, and we can get this show on the road. We can get this horrible war where 2,000-3,000 soldiers a week, every week, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 sometimes. I get the reports, and they're not American soldiers. They're Ukrainian and they're Russian. But people are being killed outside of them. People are being killed in the cities as things explode throughout the cities. And we want to get that war over with. So I think it's a big difference between the last visit you saw at the Oval Office and the soap.
One more time, Charlie, and I don't care you give me a thumbs up or not.
And hopefully Russia will agree to it. We're going to meet with them later on today.
It's not trolling.
And hopefully we'll be able to.
They're all part of the Mary Bernie crime family.
That'll be great. If we can't,
Charlie,
just keep going on, and people are going to get killed. Lots of people.
I'm making my sandwich still. I'll be up here in a minute.
So we'll see how this proceeds. Now, here's the thing. When you listen to Trump, engaged, thoughtful man as president of the United States, compare that to what we just had 2 months ago. 2 months ago. It seems forever ago, doesn't it? You know, there's a story I didn't get to yesterday where they've looked at all these documents that Biden signed, right, Mr. Producer? Turns out he didn't sign them, did he? The autograph machine was signing a lot on this. Signatures were identical. Which raises very, very serious constitutional questions. You have staff who covered up for him, staff who may have taken actions for him or encouraged him to take in ways he didn't quite comprehend. We had a media that covered it all up. Never forget this. This is why you can never trust this media. The media, just like the government, just like other things, has grown into something that was never intended. Never intended. And it's openly so. You have all these Democrats who leave presidential administrations or leave senators or congressmen or leave non-governmental organizations that are Democrat in culture and in fact, and they go into the press. I love it when people say you're part of the media. I am not a journalist. They're journalists. That's how they promote themselves. That's how they organize themselves. That's how they give each other awards on investigative reporting. But they're not. On freedom of the press, I can't restate everything I wrote in that book, but that's really the most comprehensive explanation of what's going on with the press in America today. It's not a free press. I mean, these people in the press today, they think a free press means that they're free to do and say whatever they want. That's true. They are free to do that, ladies and gentlemen, just as we are and we should be. But what the framers meant by a free press was an organization, effectively, of various pamphleteers and newspapers back then that were covering events of the day. Now, they could have their opinions and everything else, and they did. You had the party press at the beginning of our republic. As soon as we had political parties, we had party press. The Arizona Republic, way back, was considered a Republican newspaper. St. Louis Democrat, things of that sort. They were literal arms of these political parties. Pardon me. But as the late 1800s, early 1900s, 1930s rolled around, they decided that they were going to, quote unquote, professionalize themselves, just as they were going to professionalize the government. A little less democracy, a little bit more bureaucracy. Now there's a lot less democracy and a hell of a lot more bureaucracy. The point is this. The media was presenting itself, as I wrote in my book, as a professional organization seeking to truly present the news. That's not what it is today. That's simply not what it is today. Now, when we come back, I want to discuss this guy, Masood Khalil. The Democrat Party is coming to his defense. The Democrat media is coming to his defense. The slip and fall ambulance chasing Democrat judges are coming to his defense. Who is he? Is it the same media that spewed the Hamas data? Yes. Is it the same media that turned on the state of Israel? Yes. Yes, it is. You see, ladies and gentlemen, there's been more violence on Columbia University's campus than there was on January 6th. Did you know that? I just thought of that. And yet they call it free speech. It's not an accident that the group CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations, which claims to be the largest Muslim civil rights group in America. Very interesting, since a Hamas-related front group founded in 1993 in a Marriott hotel outside the Philadelphia airport that the FBI was bugging. And they got every damn word in Arabic and English of their conspiracy to create a front group for the terrorists in the Middle East, specifically Hamas. And the media, Reuters, another lousy, good-for-nothing wire service. Yes, they quote CARE. CARE believes that Mr. Khalil, if that is his name, should be released immediately. Of course they do. The head of CARE was celebrating October 7th. He's caught on a microphone. Actually had to be publicly denounced by the Biden regime, which, of course, they don't like to denounce their Hamas-supporting supporters. But they did. So we'll talk about this. President Trump has been outstanding in confronting this. I would just add this. It's important that we deport people who are effectively operators for Hamas. But more the reason not to negotiate Americans directly with Hamas. We're deporting their supporters in our country. We ought not be negotiating with them directly over there. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headline, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know, all without having to remember yet another password. Your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app. Thank you. Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and stay connected.
College Park, the accident on 95 northbound is about lane 212 clear, but some delays remain. There is still the accident in Burtonsville on 198 at Old Columbia Pike, so follow police direction there. And in Bowie, there is still the accident on eastbound 50, the John Hanson Highway before 301, where the right deceleration lane remains blocked. Also, you will find accident activity right now in Silver Spring, northbound on George Avenue at Spring Street. Still some heavy traffic on the outer loop of the Beltway from the Springfield interchange to the Wilson Bridge, and the inner loop is slow from 66 to the Spur and from Old Georgetown Road to New Hampshire Avenue. Now from GarageRoadCare.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tonight, mostly clear, low around 46. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high near 62.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
You can afford anything, but not everything.
Being poor sucks.
You especially cannot afford to miss the Afford Anything podcast, hosted by Paula Pant.
Isn't this obvious?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. Now I'm finding better ways to cope.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook, because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more. Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
Now entering the cage of doom. He will step up to his challenge.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college. Find out which classes you need and knowhowtogo.org.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
During periods of economic uncertainty, gold should be the safe haven you're looking for. Unlike stocks or bonds, it's a physical asset that gives investors peace of mind. Gold has been a valued investment for thousands of years. That's why I put my own money into things like gold with Advantage Gold, because I believe in diversification. Call 800-900-8000. Join me in this investment strategy. Folks, when the stock market has its ups and downs, gold remains a rock-solid asset. It's not just a hedge. It can be a proven safe haven for your hard-earned money. You're looking to help secure your financial future. Now's the time to diversify, to add gold to your portfolio. Don't wait until it's too late. Call my friends at Advantage Gold today. They're the experts I trust, and they'll walk you through everything step by step. Call 800-900-8000 right now. Take steps to control your future. That's 800-900-8000. Tell them Mark Levin sent you. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Making sense of your world. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Out there
making sense of the news. Breaking news and the inside story on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Folks, rates have dropped. And they're not going to stay down. I can tell you that right now. They're not going to stay down. So it's time to really take advantage of this in a big way, in my humble opinion. A lot of people are struggling to keep up every day, just with the basics. Just with the basics. A lot of people are using credit cards. A lot of people are maxing out. A lot of people have a lot on the balance on the credit cards. Kind of out of control. But homeowners, listen up. Interest rates have fallen into the fives. It's nearly a quarter of the average credit card rate. And up to $10,000 in interest is tax deductible. American Financing, which is the best of the best, I know this personally, having used them, is helping homeowners like you and my audience save an average of $800 a month, $10,000 a year by tapping into your home's equity and wiping out the high interest debt. It's just a matter of which kind of debt you're going to carry. Credit card debt, 20-30% interest, no tax deduction. Or an equity debt, which is in the 5% range right now, and up to $10,000 in interest deductions. I mean, seriously, folks, the question is just, when are you going to do it, and with whom are you going to do it? I encourage you to do it with American Finance. Credit card rates are insane. You're carrying a balance every month. You're stuck in this endless debt cycle. Liberation, as the president would say. Break free from this right now. Right now. Call American Financing salary-based mortgage consultants and see how much you can save. And if you start now, you may even delay the next 2 mortgage payments. Here's the number. Ready? 888-900-1828. I encourage you strongly. Go ahead. Jump in. 888-900-1828. 888-900-1828. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 12334. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. APR for rates in the 5 start at 6.327% for well-qualified borrowers. Call 800-795-1210 for details about credit costs and terms.
Whoa. Let's get this started. We're going to have to carry this over into the next hour, of course. Things don't end just because the clock clicks. President Trump outside the White House today on this guy, Khalil. Question by Peter Ducey. Cut 4, go.
President Trump, there's this
I think we ought to get them all out of the country. They're troublemakers. They're agitators. They don't love our country. We ought to get them the hell out. I think that guy, we ought to get him. I heard his statements too. They were plenty bad. And I think we ought to get him the hell out of the country. I watched him. I watched tapes specifically. I watched tapes. And you can have them. Okay? You can have them. And you can have the rest of them. Let them go to school. Let them learn. Columbia used to be a good school. Now it's been overrun because of bad leadership. That's what happens. Happens to countries, and it happens to universities, and it happens to companies.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now, Mike Johnson today. Cut 5, go.
What cross did Malcolm commit to warrant his arrest?
And take something. I went face down the angry mob at Columbia at the height of that stuff. When the pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas protesters were there. I'm telling you, this is my own observation, not something I read in the newspaper. It was dangerous. I met with Jewish students before we went to campus who were hauled away off campus because they were instructed by the administration not to come to class, which they paid for fear of their physical safety. The administrators there refused to take control of that campus. They refused to allow the PD to come, the police department to come in and take control. And it turned into a chaos. The president has since been removed. And now they got the same problem again. Columbia and other universities, they have to keep control of campus. The first responsibility of an administration is ensuring the safety of the students who are paying tuition to be there, for crying out loud. This madness has to stop. We have to get control of it. This guy apparently was a mastermind of those very things. When the gnashing of teeth and the ripping of clothes and people screaming at me, wanting to rip me limb from limb because I was there talking about moral clarity and how there's a right and a wrong. For doing that, they disrupted the campus. They were threatening physical violence to their fellow students. If you're on a student visa, I'm going to say this clearly. If you are on a student visa and you're in America and you're an aspiring young terrorist who wants to prey upon your Jewish classmates, you're going home. We're going to arrest your jail, and we're going to send you home where you belong. And this is just getting started. So I appreciate free speech. I used to defend it in courts, but this is far beyond the pale of that. When you are threatening your classmates and spewing anti-Semitism and all this hatred, it's enough. And I think the American people understand that. They're supporting it. And I'm glad we have a president who's strong enough to lay down the law.
It has nothing to do with free speech. It's funny, the Democrat Party that hates free speech, the Democrat Party that hates the First Amendment and the rest of the Constitution, the Democrat Party that did everything they could on social media to silence differing opinions, Democrat Party that created a bureaucratic speech monitor in the Department of Homeland Security, a federal district judge in appellate court found it appalling, something they'd never actually seen before. We don't need lectures about the First Amendment from them. Marxist Islamists who preach hate, violence, who are militant, who are riotous, need to go. And for the so-called reporter that asked the question, you don't need to commit a crime to be deported, you dumbass. You don't even know what the rules are. You're not required to create a crime, to commit a crime to be deported, even though they have, by the way, and I talked about that, my opening statement Saturday on Fox, and I've talked about it on The Blaze, and I've talked about it here. They have, actually. But that said, you don't have to. That's not the standard. You're here as a guest. You're not a citizen. You're not a citizen. Hey, Coulter's too stupid to understand this too. I noticed. Oh, just tell me what the crime is. The crime is shut your mouth.
Making sense of your world.
Thank you for what you do.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
You give me hope.
Making sense of the news.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Cab driver. Sorry, professional cab driver, Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal raced out for a spin?
Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
Hi, I'm Joe Salciha, host of the Stacking Benjamin Show. We are diving into what should be in your little emergency go bag. What goes into your financial go bag?
Passport, driver's license, social security card.
Cash out of cards, my wallet.
The most important thing, your master password.
OG just gave us the guns. That's all he needs. Come and get them. You never knew personal finance could be this fun. What's a big can of Colt 45 cost?
Doctors Anonymous.
Dr. Pepper. Stacking Benjamins. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. What is good for the heart is good for the brain. We see more and more evidence of this. In fact, there's this new study out of Sweden, which found that people who are aerobically fit in middle and old age had a lower risk of Alzheimer's and other dementias. Now, cardiorespiratory fitness, that's something you need to work at because it declines as you age. According to a statement by the American Heart Association, it declines at a rate of 3 to 6% during people's 20s and 30s. And then it decreases more than 20% per decade for people in their 70s and beyond. Dr. Richard Isaacson is one of the leading experts in the field, and he told us this. Use a car analogy. Here's how it goes. The more fit a person is, the more effectively they can shift into a higher mental gear, and the faster they can go overall. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
WMAL, media station, making sense of the news. News now.
WMAL News at 7. I'm Heather Curtis. We're one step closer to avoiding a government shutdown this week after the House passed a bill to keep the government open through September with a 217 to 213 vote. Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
Andy Biggs says he voted for the extension to help President Trump continue his momentum.
It will also provide him the funds that he needs to enforce border security, but it will also turn down the spending curve.
The bill now heads to the Senate, where it needs 60 votes to pass, meaning Democrats will have to jump on board to avoid a shutdown. House Democrats criticized the $13 billion in non-defense spending cuts and wanted provisions to ensure the Trump administration would spend the money as it's intended.
Woman Eleanor Holmes Norton sounding the alarm on the House floor today, saying if Congress passes the continuing resolution, the city would have to cut $1 billion from its budget.
The CR is an act of fiscal sabotage against D.C.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says they're adopting the NTSB's urgent safety recommendations made after the deadly crash between a plane and helicopter over the Potomac. The investigation found separation distances between helicopters and planes in some areas around DCA
are insufficient and pose an intolerable risk to aviation safety by increasing the chances of a mid-air collision at DCA.
NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy is recommending helicopter flights between Haynes Point and the Wilton Bridge be banned when 2 DCA runways are being used. And she says they should figure out alternative routes for them. She says there have been 85 close calls between planes and helicopters at DCA over the last 3 years. Duffy says,
how did the FAA not know? How did they not study the data to say, hey, This is a hot spot. We're having near misses. And if we don't change our way, we're going to lose lives.
BWI Marshall Airport's biggest carrier has taken another step toward becoming just like every other airline.
No, nothing's free anymore at Southwest. The one-time low-cost leader is giving up its popular Bags Fly Free perk and starting to charge for them in May. The airline says the change is being made to drive revenue growth and to reward the airline's most loyal customers. Some frequent flyers and those with Southwest credit cards will still be able to check at least one bag for free. The change comes as Southwest aims to become more profitable. It just laid off 1,700 employees. It'll start offering assigned seating and charging for the better seats next year. John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The Department of Education plans to lay off 1,300 of its more than 4,000 employees as it moves toward Secretary Linda McMahon's goal of dismantling the agency. Fired federal workers joined a rally outside the Capitol today in the hopes of being reinstated.
I worked as a paid National Park Service employee for 3 years, not counting my volunteer work, my internships to qualify for my permanent position. And I was terminated on Valentine's Day.
Maddie Hollis left devastated for fired Fed Ben, who moved his family cross country to take his dream job with the GSA.
Today, I'm scared. I'm scared for what the next few months look like. I'm scared for those that depend on me and my salary. I'm scared to lose the home we haven't even finished unpacking yet.
Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Traffic and weather next.
Hey y'all, it's Caitlin and Kane Brown here with Wayfair. As a growing family, one of our favorite things is Game Night Wayfair Edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Every home.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
In the district on the freeway eastbound at the 12th Street Tunnel, there is a disabled vehicle causing delays from the 14th Street Bridge. And you will also find delays right now traveling from 6th Street Navy Yard to the 3rd Street Tunnel heading westbound, and delays continue to the outbound 14th Street Bridge. Also, some slowing still on 395 northbound from 110 to the 14th Street Bridge. Earlier accident in Bowie on eastbound 50 at Crane Highway, now cleared away. Still some delays on the Beltway on the inner loop from 66 to the 270 spur from Old Georgetown Road to New Hampshire Avenue. Outer loop is heaviest between the Springfield Interchange and the Wilson Bridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
After our warmest day of the year so far, a very pleasant evening with mainly clear skies. Your temperatures between 56 and 62 degrees. Expect high temperature Wednesday at about 65 to 70 degrees with partly sunny skies. For 7 News, Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 68 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
5.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
In the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811.
Now let's talk about this guy, Mahmoud Khalil. You understand now the Democrat Party, the Democrat activist judges, the Democrat media, and of course the Hitler Youth are coming to his defense. But who is he? Who is he? What are the beliefs of Mahmoud Khalil's activist group, the CUAD, writes Michael Starr at the Jerusalem Post. The Saturday arrest at Columbia University apartheid divest senior activist Mahmoud Khalil. He's actually not a student anymore. The organization that has been involved in a series of confrontations with New York City academic institutions has been thrust back into the spotlight. The issue of law enforcement action against the group's leadership cannot be separated from the actions and objectives of the group, CUAD, which perceives itself as a revolutionary force working toward the destruction of the United States and Israel. In other words, it's Hamas. It's got Hamas's mission statement, okay? It's what it is. You don't let their students into our country, and you don't negotiate with them. It's very simple, not complicated. The means to achieve this are not just through vandalism and civil unrest, which the group directly employs, as the group also supports terrorism at home and in the Middle East, praising the October 7 massacre as the pinnacle of revolutionary action. No wonder the Democrat Party and our media support this guy, huh? QUAD, a coalition of far-left and anti-Israel student activist organizations, led many of the post-October 7 protest actions at Columbia University. Isn't it funny how the media don't want to know who funds this group? Isn't it funny? Mediaite, you going to look into that? No, you got a bunch of fat asses who just sit there and watch TV, listen to radio. Okay. Where are the investigative reporters? Where are they? New York Slimes? Washington Compost? Oh, Ruth Marcus, are you out there? The flagship Columbia encampment, established in April, inspired a global campaign emulating the occupation of campus spaces. The Columbia encampment projected a project culminating in the occupation of Hamilton Hall. Well, that's just free speech, with the activists remaining the conquered facility Heinz Hall. In the short term, the protests sought to pressure New York academic institutions to disclose all investments, cut any financial and academic ties with Israel. In other words, the BDS movement. Yet the revolutionary ideology that motivates CUAD seeks more than these immediate objectives, in the same way that new demands have arisen by activist groups once their calls for a ceasefire were met. They're taking their orders from terrorists, you see. The group sees the United States as an empire, with their fight within the belly of the beast, inextricably connected to the fight of Hamas and other terrorist organizations in the Levant. You understand? That's what this guy is. QAD, like most anti-Israel organizations, sees the entirety of Israel as an illegitimate project, not limiting their designs to the Green Line in an October Instagram post that describes 76 years of Nakba, an Israeli state illegitimacy. Further explaining in an October 17 Substack article commemorating the October 7 massacre that it would not stop, demonstrating until Zionism ends. Zionism is nothing more than Israel, the state of Israel, and all the people within it. Colonial projects all die, and Zionism will not be saved, they said. The so-called liberation sought by these activists is a global revolution, highlighted by their calls to restore the U.S. to Turtle Island, quote unquote, in the same fashion as they propose Israel become Palestine. An encampment banner shown in a June 1 CUAD Instagram post called for the liberation from Turtle Island to Palestine, from the United States to Israel. In an August 16 Substack article connecting the theories of controversial post-colonial political philosopher Franz Fanon to practice, CUAD members wrote, as students living in the U.S., we recognize we must work hard to weaken U.S. imperialism. CUAD repeatedly describes both Israel and America as part of the same imperial system. All right, let me stop here. If you've read American Marxism, you know all about this. If you listen to this show, you know all about this. It's an amazing thing. I talk about these things at great length, and groups like Mediaite, the Media Matters, and the rest of it, all they care about is if they can come between Trump and me. I already told them it's not going to work. But all these other things we discuss at length, substantive things, important things, about Qatar, about Saudi Arabia, about Hamas, about the Muslim Brotherhood. All these things we're discussing in the United States as well. They utterly ignore because they're not a news site. They're a crap site. That's all they are. CUAD repeatedly describes both Israel and the U.S. as part of this imperial system. You can go online and read Hamas's mission statement. Hamas and their, quote, brothers and sisters talk about the destruction of the West, including the United States. Israel, of course. This is an international Islamic terrorism movement in every country on the face of the earth, even in Muslim countries. Most of these Arab countries do not want the Palestinians there because they know the Palestinians are more like the Hamas Palestinians than the Western media will allow you to discuss. I will say it. Nobody else will. This is very important to understand. In a November 21 Substack article describing how a CUAD reading group studies the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, that's another terrorist group, one student supposedly remarked, "The struggle in Palestine is my fight as a black person in America. The movement for Palestinian liberation is not isolated," the writer said. "It is part of the global anti-imperialist struggle. The interconnectedness of struggles against imperialism is critical. Revolution sparks revolution." Okay, he's spewing Marxism. And I tell you over and over again, it's the fusion of Marxism and Islamism. That's what's going on here. The destruction of the West. The rejection of the Enlightenment. And so they're going to try and use our Constitution and use the Biden-Obama judges as cover for their revolution inside the United States of America. The means accepted to achieve the destruction of the United States and Israel included, in their words, armed violence. Armed violence. What do you think about that? CUAD repeatedly describes both Israel and the U.S. as this imperial front. The movement for Palestinian liberation is not isolated. The means acceptable to achieve the destruction of Israel and the United States included armed violence and terrorism. And so then we have a reporter, and where's your evidence of a crime? That's not what you need, you schmuck. This is enough. In an October 8 Instagram post in which the CUAD leadership, of which this clown is, apologized to member Kamani James for coming out against his January statements proclaiming Zionists don't deserve to live, quote unquote, suggesting it was inclined to kill them because of their supposed evil ideology. CUAD reiterated their support for the tool of political violence. From their letter, they wrote in part, "In light of this, we as CUAD organizers went on." So this is what's going on in Colombia, on their campus. "We want to apologize first and foremost to Gemadi. We caused irrevocable harm to you by contributing to the ostracization you experienced from your fellow students, fellow organizers, and media and the public. The anti-blackness and queer phobia that Kamani experienced and continues to experience from neoliberals, neoliberal media, fascists, and others is disgusting." That's the group. "We support liberation by any means, including armed resistance, quote unquote," said CUAD. Remember, this guy's one of the leaders. "The face of violence from the oppressor, the Marxist Islamist fusion. Equipped with the most lethal military force on the planet, we've exhausted all peaceful means of resolution. Violence is the only path forward." The Substack articles posted by CUAD are rife with battlefield reports describing how Hamas and Hezbollah are fighting heroically against the IDF. Excuse me, in an August 16 article, The group assured a reader that Hamas and the Houthis were progressive forces because of the support of the people and the roles in weakening the United States imperialism. Boy, sounds like some of the America Firster clowns in our own movement, don't they, Mr. Producer? American imperialism. Morons. The rockets fired by the Houthis and other terrorist organizations against Israeli civilian centers is cast in a glorified tone. Quote, for over a year, the resistance to this genocidal occupation has been a banner of hope for many since Operation Al-Qasr flood. The axis of resistance remaining strong, CUAD wrote in the same newsletter. This past November 7th, they described Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar as a brave man who will live in the hearts of many. They praised the October 7 massacre as Sinwar's crowning achievement, because the Al-Aqsa flood was the very essence of what it is to resist with what we have. The act of Palestinian resistance on October 7th, this is the group the guy heads. I want you to know what we're talking about. Notice the Al-Aqsa flood breached Israeli security and made significant military advances. This is a day that will go down in history. And besides Sinwar, the arch-terrorists of Hamas and Hezbollah are the icons of CUAD, with the group mourning the death of Hamas leader Ismail. CUAD documents regularly, quote, the PFLP founder George Habash, deceased Hezbollah Secretary General Nasrallah. They did this as recently November 21, praised the concept of martyrism. The spokesperson for the PFLP, Ghassan is a favorite yabba dabba doo of the group. And it goes on. So this group is swimming in terrorism, swimming in terrorist propaganda. And so I will ask the reporters who go to the White House press room, when are you and your corporate entities going to investigate who funds CUAD? When will you do that? Since apparently Elon Musk and others are not allowed to look. The review of this literature to understand terrorism was not an isolated incident. November article about how PFLP and the Democrat Front for the Liberation of Palestine operations led a student to say they highlighted the importance of celebrating resistance as a source of inspiration. And to further underscore Mark's point, the October 17 article described how they read Mao Zedong's on guerrilla warfare to analyze and glean lessons from the October 7 massacre. Most recently, before Khalil's arrest, dozens of Kifa-clad activists entered Barnard's Millbank Hall, leaving the hallways graffitied after the occupation ended. The group demanded amnesty for disciplined students and negotiations for their main demands, threatening to continue the occupation and disruption until the administration caved. Khalil's arrest is not a matter of free speech. It's a matter of how the U.S. will continue to respond to the campus production of the fifth column that seeks violent revolution within our own country. And I would say to the Republicans in the House and the Senate, any judge that tries to wrap this in free speech in the First Amendment should be impeached. It's a new day. But Mark, we don't impeach judges for this. Well, we should. I'm well aware of the Salmon Chase issue. I'm well aware of Jefferson. I'm well aware of our history. But any judge that gives American constitutional protection to terrorism must be removed. Because that tells me they're nothing more than an Obama or Biden Marxist in thinking and perhaps in kind. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all, Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Hey y'all, it's Caitlin and Kane Brown here with Wayfair. As a growing family, one of our favorite things is Game Night Wayfair Edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Style every home.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax 5.
Around the clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Listen to this, because this stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Want to get some good discounted food and dining options, reliable roadside assistance, preferred credit card offers, or fraud protection? You need to check out AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. No matter what your age is, you can take advantage of the services they provide for either yourself or your family, and have confidence that their partners stand behind the vision our nation's founders had to enrich the lives of all Americans through goods and services offered by like-minded companies. But joining AMAC isn't just about the benefits. It's about belonging to a community that stands for timeless American values. Regardless of your age, you can enroll in a 5-year AMAC 7% off. Visit SRS today. For Amex membership is made up of Americans 2 million members strong and growing.
Ziggy! Hello, Ziggy. I'm going to help you out tonight, Ziggy. Old Billy's going to help you out, Ziggy.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, millions of kids don't have the supplies they need. Donor Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers and beyond.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Have you joined the mass exodus yet? That's right. People are leaving the big wireless companies in droves. From my wireless company, Your Talk. People who understand paying $100 a month per line just so they can get a free phone. You can choose zero service on get your for $250
about your roasting gyros.
Just honest forgiveness. Wireless.
Hey, Rob Noxious, I'd say your little friend there is butthurt. Just a bit. That was a month ago, it says. That fucker come up here and did that shit.
Very friendly. Trying to provide guidance.
Well, I'm going to play again so Will Durant knows what's going on.
They've made a wrong turn. Not to defy, not to undermine, not to attack, but to help.
You're welcome to try it again, Ziggy.
That was predictable from day one. Trump administration's secret talks with Hamas were a one-off situation that hasn't borne fruit, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio just said, discussing the secret talks during his trip to Saudi Arabia. Rubio defended hostage envoy Adam Boehler's decision to negotiate directly with Hamas. I condemn it, and I think the things he said over the weekend were absolutely reckless. With Hamas earlier this month breaking away from America's decades-long policy in angering Israel, not just Israel, a lot of Americans who don't believe you should negotiate with subhuman monsters. That was a one-off situation in which our special envoy for hostages, whose job it is to get people released, had an opportunity to talk directly to someone who has control over these people and was given permission and encouraged to do so, Rubio told reporters. As of now, it hasn't borne fruit. Doesn't mean he was wrong to try. No, he was wrong to try. That's just Mark's opinion. News of America's direct dealings with Hamas met with instant condemnation. Let's see. Both the Trump administration and Hamas claim the talks are moving along in a positive direction. Doesn't appear that lasted very long. Stephen Witkoff, who's in Saudi Arabia after discussing a 30-day ceasefire proposal on the Ukraine war, arrived in Qatar Tuesday to broker the future of the strained truce between Israel and Hamas. Look, no negotiations, no agreement.
Oh, I just ate.
The Israelis know what the hell they're doing. They've been dealing with this for at least 80 years. Got it? Let them do what they have to do. Let them do what they have to do. Let's back them up and let's get this done. That's the fastest way to get it over with. Not with Biden and not with this envoy. Just staying. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
The worst dream last night. We were in a car crash. The kids and I were on our own. We have to move out of this because I couldn't afford it.
Ziggy got so butthurt, and he went and he cut that clip out of my stream, and he's got it up on his post. Now this is absolute gold right here.
Some of the most secure and hassle-free way.
The words. He can't even say the word. It's mischievous. He's so drunk he can't even say the word.
No, this is about Carl Wiggins. You're roasting.
Roasting John.
I don't really want to explain it to you, Ziggy.
Fuck you. Somebody laughing. Is that you? Who was that? UCB up there? Who was that? I forget.
Are there times when you would
call now 800-918-3920. That's 800-918.
Oh, fuck.
Investors.
I remember fucking touching that motherfucker. I hate that fucking shit when they do that.
Off the sidelines and straight. Golden, all you need to
You didn't see it, did you? I didn't really want to explain it to you, Ziggy. Why would I consider you my friend? What have you ever done? Hold on. At the end of the day, we're brothers. No.
At the end of the day, we're brothers. At the end of the day, we're brothers. At the end of the day, we're brothers. You have to be my brother, Billy. Fuck you. Fuck you, Ziggy. What are you gonna do, Ziggy? Come on. Come on here, boy. Bring my mother's picture with you so I know it's you. Huh?
Shut up when I'm talking. Tell me you want to fucking name me. I'm the one that tells you to shut the fuck up. 3 seconds. Why would I tell you, motherfucker? I was in the army. Fuck you. Now, let's talk calm.
Then he cuts it off. That's all he played right there. Then he cuts it off. So what are you trying to do there, Zig man? You fucking whacked out dumb fuck. Huh? Something wrong with you, boy. You gotta quit snorting that cocaine. You can't handle your drugs, son. You can't. Something ain't right, and I know it, and you know it. I was in the army. No, you weren't. You didn't do shit. You think you're the crow from the movie. Some type of evil spirit. It's just a movie. Hollywood sucks. How can a vet like you become a Satanist? You claim to be a veteran. You're worse than Wiggin. He's a wizard and a Christian. Something ain't right. Something wrong with you boys. Ziggy, I know you're watching. Huh? Vanessa. White men did not vote for Kamala Harris. Your joke fell flat on its face. You can come up and fucking apologize to Billy and tell me you love me. VB. VB, you owe me at least 20 minutes of all people. Hi, CB. CB, you see what's going on, right? CB, all JC and all of them, they're all fighting over me, CB. I got teeth. I did brush them. I ate and all that, rolled a joint. Come on.
Deep in the list of local restaurants, you are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more.
CB, don't let Gotti bother you. Just call him Gerald. Put the name Gerald Gotti. That's all you got to do. That name stuck. I called him Gerald, and they all call him Gerald. My shit always sticks, CB. When I fling it, it fucking sticks.
To revoke a green card or a visa for individuals who serve or are adversarial to the foreign policy and national security interests of the United States.
People are talking about overthrowing the United States, who are Hamas and terrorist mouthpieces, who talk about violence against the United States, who've committed acts, their group has, of violence against Jewish students, preventing Jewish students from going to class, trespassing, taking over one of the buildings on campus. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, it seems to me they've done a lot more damage than the January 6ers ever did. No, Mr. Producer? I wonder if Isaac...
Yeah.
Are you sure, Isaac?
And Chrissy Britt.
Isaac Shore,
Britney Spears.
the clown show, one-man clown show media.
That's a sad story right there.
To the New York Post. I wonder if Isaac Shore will make the point that there have been more acts of violence. I mean, real physical violence against American citizens. They add up the numbers. Why don't they look how many people have been prosecuted? Why don't they look at those numbers? I mean, would it be better if we call Alio the head of the Proud Boys? Would that do better? Or what was that other group? I don't even remember. Would that help? I'm just curious. Go ahead.
Mahmoud Khalil was an individual who was given the privilege of coming to this country to study at one of our
Do
nation's.
you understand that, media? It's a privilege, not a right. And Coulter obviously is too stupid to understand it, which is why Mediaite quotes her. Not about anything else but that.
And
Why?
Coulter dated
Because
fucking Bill
Mediaite
Maher.
supports this group too. Why? Because Mediaite's stupid too. Run by Dan Abrams. But all the media are. They're just one of many. One of many. It's a privilege to come to the United States. The basis for immigration, the basics here, the basis for immigration is people come to the country who will contribute to the well-being of the nation, not who will overthrow it and spread terrorist, Jew-hating, American-hating propaganda. Isn't that right, Judge? Isn't that right, Judge?
I hope you're listening, Rum.
Well, I can't wait for your ruling, pal. We're going to take a very close look at it. Go ahead.
In colleges. And he took advantage of that opportunity, of that privilege, by siding with terrorists, Hamas terrorists who have killed innocent men, women, and children. This is an individual who organized group protests.
Isn't it sad she has to go through this? The media doesn't even give a crap what took place to these Jews. They don't care.
That's your 27-year-old.
Oh, really? Only
Not
Fox
smarter
and
than
Google
fucking
Fox,
ones in these chats.
interviewing the Jews.
Lot smarter than you are,
If
JT.
it was Jews doing this to Muslims, you'd never hear the end of it. Would you? Or if this were being done to African Americans, you'd never hear the end of it, would you? If this were being done to gay people, you'd never hear the end of it, would you? And you shouldn't. But it's being done to Jews. Oh, okay, it's just the Jews. They kind of deserve it.
I'm not Jewish, so.
They kind of deserve it, don't they? We even have disgusting reprobates, quote unquote, on the right.
I'm far from Jewish.
Who spew this crap. Go ahead.
College campus classes and harassed Jewish American students and made them feel unsafe on their own college campus, but also distributed pro-Hamas propaganda, flyers with the logo of Hamas. That is what the behavior and activity that this individual engaged in. And I have those flyers on my desk. They were provided to me by the Department of Homeland Security. I thought about bringing them into this briefing room to share with all of you, but I didn't think it was worth the dignity of this room.
No, it's not dignity of the room. Those people could give a damn vast majority. They don't care. They have access to the brochures too. They don't care. I mean, they have access to the video, what took place on October 7th by Hamas. The very group that this guy's promoted. The very group that founded CARE. That's quoted in the media.
CAIR, CARE.
This guy should be released. You know, there's a First Amendment here. Now, the fundamentalists.
Council on Arab-Israeli Relations. That's what it stands for. They've been around.
They don't recognize that your First Amendment. They think that's hilarious.
DA, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Enlightenment. It's all crap. They're trying to burn down.
You and Logical, that whole fucking
Propaganda, but that's what this individual
the flat Earth,
campus at Columbia University, and this administration is not going to tolerate individuals having the privilege of studying in our country and then siding with pro-terrorist organizations that have killed Americans. We have a zero tolerance policy for siding with terrorists, period.
And I want to thank you, young lady. I want to thank the president. I want to thank the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Education, the Attorney General, the FBI Director, the soon-to-be Deputy FBI Director, Brother Bongino. I want to thank Leo Terrell. I want to thank the Secretary of DHS and the whole of government effort here.
Leo Terrell. He's quite a guy, that guy.
For these people, to protect these people, to get the
He's black, by the way. Leo Terrell.
Civil liberties. This is an administration that promotes civil liberties, that defends civil liberties. That's what they're doing right now. Civil liberties. From terrorists, terrorist militia, terrorist mouthpieces, the Hitler Youth. We literally have a Democrat Party that's at it again. It's at it again. Melissa Murray is an NYU professor, so she must know something, right? She knows nothing.
New York University.
She's on MSNBC today. You know why they brought her on? Because this really isn't appropriate what's being done to poor Khalid here. Cut 7, go.
Does Marco Rubio have the power to revoke a person's green card or legal status?
So, under the immigration laws, there are extreme circumstances where someone's status can be reconsidered if they are aligned with, for example, a terrorist organization or an organization that's been designated a terrorist organization. It is not the case here, Mr. Khalil, that there's any evidence that he is aligned with a terrorist organization or part of a terrorist organization.
No, there's no evidence at all. I just read you an article. Where's DNA and fingerprints are everywhere. But don't worry, this is an NYU professor. You understand? So in order to be an NYU professor, really, effectively just down the street from Columbia, you have to be a moron. You have to be part of the faculty. You understand? You have to be part of this whole milieu. This whole, she's welcome to come on my show and debate me. They all are, but they won't. They all are. What a joke. All of them. By the way, AOC, you're out there. You want to go into red Republican districts and hold town hall meetings. Isn't that what she said, Mr. Producer? Why don't you come on this program? We'll have a national town hall meeting. That's right. Millions and millions of people. We have our national town hall meeting every single evening. Hey,
yeah.
I want you to contact her office for the 4 billionth time. I'm serious, Rich. Invite her on the program. Tell her we'll have a national town hall meeting. But she can't have her head so far at Bernie Sanders' ass that she's looking at his nostrils. No. This isn't a Communist Party, cabal. This is, let's have a debate, AOC. Let's do it. We'll be here in front of millions of people. Lots of people in red states and all states. In fact, people in your own home district, right in New York City. Oh, yeah. We can do this, You want to come on, coward? And by the way, I'll be respectful if you do. As long as you don't, I'm never going to be respectful. I don't like little commie bastards. It's just in my blood. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America that was made right here in America by the good folks at Allegiance Flag Supply, right? You don't want to pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America that's made in communist China, do you?
You can't get any more childish than what I'm reading in Vegas chat right now. It doesn't get any more childish than what this person is posting in Vegas.
The whole world to see the Allegiance Flag Supply flag. It's the most high-quality flag made in America by the hands of patriots in Charleston, South Carolina. Handcrafted. Show your love of country, love of our troops, love for freedom by flying your American-made American flag. Don't get the cheap crap, the flimsy one that was made overseas. You can get those in any box store. All the components of the flag, the spinners, the mounts, all sourced right here in the U.S., highest quality. An Allegiance flag not only shows support for our country, it shows support for the patriotic, hardworking men and women, American citizens who make this country great. It is they, with their hands, who make every part of this flag and all that goes with it. I want to encourage you to visit showallegiance.com. Showallegiance.com. That's the site. Experience the difference of an American-made American flag. You can feel it. You can see it. Go to showallegiance.com. That's showallegiance.com. You'll save $35 off your complete flag set. Folks, I really want you to check this out. You're going to love it once you get it. That's showallegiance.com for American flags made by Americans in America for Americans. And these cheap American flags made overseas, they don't even last. They don't even last. I've been through like 3 of them. But this is the real deal. a real American flag made in America by Americans for Americans. Showallegiance.com. Be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Civic tax.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
No, you don't need to buy oversized pants if you want to earn more money. Just listen to Bigger Pockets.
Because it's really just kind of a bit of a cheat code.
Yeah, watch this.
Something for everyone.
I'm in Vegas chat at the second.
Around the clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Give me a minute.
This stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
We're the stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2. The braver than you think.
I have Ladies Venom's answers to the questions she's asking. How can undocumented people get welfare benefits? Well, the people who run the welfare offices in them counties are crooked. And those undocumented immigrants, Lady Venom, will use a fake ID if they can get away with it. She's not paying attention to, all the immigrants that were sent to New York City and the Biden administration taking funds from FEMA and giving it to New York so they could house them people. Why is that? It's called fraud, Lady Venom. Why don't you unblock me in Vegas? I'll answer your fucking question for you. Because you're chicken shit. And so aren't you, Ziggy. You want to come up here on my panel again and tell me what I should say, think, feel? At the end of the day, we're brothers. Duh. You don't consider me your friend. Billy doesn't want me as his friend. That's all I get. I can hear Ziggy right. You fucking think there's an Irishman with a fucking herd out back. Nothing English about me. I'm all American. I can't help what Europeans did in fucking 1740.
Wow. Nobody local? Huh.
Wait, what? We are at HB. Literally in your neighborhood.
That's all the big shake. Well, it is what it is.
Can you not see us?
If you're buried deep in the list of local HVAC providers, you are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Oh, look at that. She's got her little gang. Charlie, have I said I didn't like you? Lady Venom is crying in Vegas chat. Wah. Blocks me and they run their mouth. They fucking their little clones they got. I can tell you who a couple of those clones are. They got to be Jordan. And they have to be whatever man is with her, her brother, whoever the fuck it is, that doesn't have a car because she's. Yeah. It's impossible for one of them clones of me not to be her Jordan.
free online courses, including the newest course on totalitarian novels.
I have ice cream too. Okay, I will, Randy. Get high. Thanks. I appreciate it. Commercial right now, so. Oh, you want to see that clip of fucking Ziggy freaking out on my panel again? Made that fucker cry, Randy. You see that fucker cry? And I booted him. He didn't want to talk. He wants to bicker and shit. Fuck you, Ziggy. Go ahead, make another video with me in it, Zig. You fucking dumb fucker.
More importantly, they can show us that family and friends fighting for.
I will when it's time. Right now, Mark Levin's on. It's commercial, but I'm waiting to see what.
To enroll. That's LEVIN for Hillsdale.com. No cost. Get started. LEVIN for Hillsdale. Again, what do I know? Melissa Murray, she's a professor after all at NYU, which is doing a fabulous job there, promoting Jew hatred, American hatred, anti-Semitism, and violence. NYU, doing a great job. You look at these schools, Columbia, NYU, look at the names on the buildings. A lot of them are Jewish philanthropists. You look at their endowments. A lot of them come from Jewish groups, Jewish foundations. What a joke. Cholera. Hey, it happens here in the United States. Land of the free and the open borders. Anyway, looks like the price of eggs have come down. In fact, they've come down lower than they were when Donald Trump took office. 48 hours ago, I could have sworn that King Jeffries and Chuck Schumer.
Hey, everybody, Randall's on JC's panel right now.
Now, what are they going to say?
Aren't you, Randy? You're on JC's panel.
Carolina Levitt again at the White House briefing about egg prices. They're way down. And I'm sure that's going to be a headline at the New York Slimes and the Washington Compost, maybe even on ESPN.
Oh, you were anyway.
Cut eight, go.
We definitely do share the concerns of the American people when it comes to the price of eggs. However, good news, the average cost of a dozen eggs is actually down since Secretary Rollins and President Trump announced their plan. It's down $1.85. So that's good news on the cost of eggs. And as we know, under the Biden administration, egg prices went up 22%.
Unfortunately, for the Democrats, the price, I think, of marijuana is way up. So there is that.
I grew it. I don't need to worry about it.
There is that. I don't know the finest idea.
Cost you to grow it.
My life, but I'm just saying it. Go ahead.
Example of economic mess that President Trump inherited, and the Secretary of Agriculture and the President are focused on fixing it. Secretary Rollins put out a 4-point plan rather, to address this crisis. And she has been honest and realistic with the American people, as this administration always is. It will take months to get the egg supply back to where it should be. She's focused, and this administration is focused on doing that every day.
Well, we're going to have to ignore that, the media are. President Trump coming on prices too, cut 9, go.
But we didn't have these problems. I had no inflation. I had a great economy.
Absolutely right.
He gave you high prices. You couldn't buy bacon. You couldn't buy anything. Also, I inherited
bacon all the time. I love bacon. Go ahead.
Hey, the price of eggs was through the roof. Now the price of eggs has come down a lot. Interest rates have come down. Gasoline prices have come down. It's all coming down. It's all a beautiful thing. I can do it the right way or the wrong way. We're doing it the right way. And I have tremendous confidence in this country and the people of this country. Tremendous confidence, much more so
than if I sat back for 4 years and had a good time in the Oval Office.
Mm-hmm. Like Biden sat back for 4 years, and I wonder what he did all the time by himself. Seriously. You don't hear anything about him right now, you know?
Randy, that pot is really smooth.
Don't say that as a joke.
It's not harsh at all.
I think he's
even dried out as it is. Sticky shit.
That's not fun. It's reality. I'll be right back.
Making sense of your world.
Thank you for your clear insight.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. This is a major wake-up call. Making sense of the news.
Now taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you.
Yeah, snow's melting.
So you can
It's muddy out front.
this is tax.
Couple parts of my driveway. Time is it? Yeah, he won't be back for about 8-9 minutes. So we got 8-9 minutes. Fortunately, this little clip he did is really short, like 1:11 or whatever. Let's see. 1:14. He felt like he's fine. Roasting Joey. No, this is a big issue. You didn't see it, did you? The condensation in his voice. How are you roasting gyro? How are you roasting gyro? Ah. I'll let this play. I don't really want to explain it. He did a bad job copying it where he started it. So, but listen to him when he says the word mischievous. What have you ever done? Hold on. No, you're not gonna. Tell me, shut up when I'm talking. Tell me that you've done for me.
You in the fucking Navy. I'm the one that tells you to shut the fuck up.
You got 3 seconds.
Why would I tell you, motherfucker? I was in the Army. Fuck you. Now, let's talk calm. Are you being mischievous? Silly.
Mischievous. I'm roasting Joe. No, this is a wig in. You didn't see it, did you? I don't want to explain it to this again. I want to show you, my friend. What have you ever done? Hold on. It's the end of the day, my brothers. Been dying to do that. And the other night over on your chat, JT, and you let him sit there, you didn't say a word to him. That's why he did that. Fuck you, Ziggy. Go ahead, use my mother. I don't give a shit. My mother rules out here. She's more famous than I am. She's never even been in chat. We got about 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes before Levin comes back on. Listen to the last hour of them.
And off again tariffs and fears of a recession have caused a
I probably already missed some news because this is Fox News Radio.
President Trump said
people are going to make great deals by buying stocks and bonds and all the things they're buying. I think we're going to have an economy that's a real economy.
a local financial advisor also weighing in.
This past week of volatility has really been centered by Trump regarding
Novak is an advisor for financial services.
this is causing a lot of panic in the market.
Advises folks with long-term plans to never trade emotionally, but if the plan is for the shorter term, gradual de-risking investments is on the table. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Several school buses in Fairfax County will soon have stop arm cameras on them. Nearly 50 cameras are being installed on public school buses.
JC begged me to go up on her panel, 3 nights ago now? Been 3 days? Demanding that I come, bringing them up there. Oh, open chat. I've had an open political chat this whole time. You fuckers won't come here. Nem doesn't dare come here because he doesn't have anybody protect him. He's all on his own. He can't handle it on his own. I can. And I know how to get along with people. Nem is a globalist. He believes in the shit that's going on that he sees, the garbage he believes online. So fuck you, JC. You're disingenuous. That's all there is to it. Intellectually dishonest is what you are, JC. Unbelievable. You don't have the nerve to come up here and talk to me one-on-one. And hey, if you want to go backstage and settle it that way, I'd be more than happy to do that. But you don't want that stigma. Oh, JC went backstage with Billy. Oh, and if Billy finally showed JC his tiny little worm. Can't bend that finger too well. It's fucking. I hit somebody on the cheekbone with that once. I was aiming for their chin, though. They moved their head. Been watching a lot of Boss Ross and Rutten. You wouldn't want to fight with that guy. The fucker kick you in the head. You wouldn't even know it's coming. He's fucking fast. Well, he was back in the day. He probably could still photo. One palm strike is all it would take. Why I'm always saying that. Right? Andy, if I ever put my palm on the end of your nose, you'd fucking. If I ever hit you behind the ear with the fucking palm of my hand, you'd go out like a ton of brick. It looks like I swing, but that's what he's aiming for. He's swinging around. He's hitting right there. That's fucking knockout. That's a kill shot. It's illegal to punch and to throw in MMA. It's not to the death. That's a kill shot. Gouging eyes and shit like that. Well, I'll give JT some credit. I think yesterday, he doesn't have my mother's image up there anymore. He took that away. I don't care if he does me. He's got the monkey fuck. I did that for them. Come on, Gotti. I did the monkey fuck for you guys. What the fuck? Why are you going to treat me like shit? Especially you, JT. I'm a lot older than you are. That just tells me your fucking parents didn't teach you. Or you didn't have good parents. Something ain't right. I know you've never been in charge of a group of people. You've never had employees. You certainly never been galley watch captain on a submarine. I'd like to see one of them in here step up. but if you don't, I'll understand. Because we'll talk about you later, Wiggin, when this is over with. And I'm fucking mad at you, boy. I got something to fucking say, and I'm going to say it tonight.
Compute noise. Tell your great leader. There was no immediate sign of reciprocity from the Kremlin. Russia State Duma Deputy Vitko Sobolov first off the mark to reject the proposal. Oh. Maybe he'll maybe he'll enjoy a deep dive off a building, Mr. Producer. You never know. The U.S. will rearm Ukraine in 30 days of ceasefire and start the war anew. Russia will not go for it, he said. I think that this is completely unacceptable. Some kind of temporary ceasefire, temporary truce is unacceptable. Well, there you go. And by the way, Iran told our administration to stick it. They're not negotiating. Russia just told our administration to stick it. So I guess now it's time to attack Ukraine and attack Netanyahu. No, Mr. Producer? After all, no, we can't shut down the government, ladies and gentlemen. What will happen? Well, the government has been shut down at least 20 times since, I think, the late 1970s. 6 times under Reagan. It's amazing. And we're still here. We're still here. But I want to do a little flashback put together by our friends.
That's his New York accent when he does that.
The Democrats saying we can't shut down the government because every single Democrat voted about 2 hours ago to shut down.
He's from Philadelphia.
They want to save Medicare by destroying you.
Mark Levin's only 3 years older than me.
Montage, cut 10.
Maybe 4.
Go.
Governance. We want to keep government open. A shutdown is very serious. There are real consequences when the government shuts down.
Maxine Waters.
It harms our national security. It harms our economy. And it
that
harms
woman.
service members, veterans, retirees, and vulnerable communities.
We all know a shutdown is unnecessary and completely avoidable.
The tragedy here is all the civilian employees. It is the American people who are going to suffer.
Border Patrol agents will not be paid. TSA agents will not be paid.
Is that Hashi? I think that's Hashi.
Will be hurt.
Not only is it irresponsible and purposely misleading, it is dangerous precedent to be threatening a shutdown.
I'm worried about our air controllers, those in the military. We have over almost 40,000 in the military, as well as personnel who work in the military, and they won't have checks. I mean, this is real.
Real people's lives at stake. It is not normal to hold 800,000 workers paycheck hostage. It is not normal to shut down the government when we don't get what we want.
Our troops deserve better. Our children deserve better. And the American people deserve better.
These chaos agents, they don't have a plan B. They just want to see everything burn.
Shutdown is really an extremist policy designed to appeal to an extremist base and hold the whole country hostage.
Yeah. You know who it hurts? You.
Actually, the speaker put that together. And here's the speaker today at a press conference.
Speaker of the House.
The successful Massey, who voted for this continuing resolution. I mean, Roy made the point. He said, look, we're going to give 6 months here. I mean, you got Elon Musk, who's doing tremendous things that we never even thought would happen. We never even realized that this sort of thing could happen. Here's the speaker just about an hour or two ago. Cut 11, go.
They're going to vote down this simple bill. They are going to try to shut the government down. Every House Democrat will participate in this. But it looks like that would be a shame. Some of them will themselves and do the right thing, but it looks like they're going to try to shut down the government. It's a striking new posture for Democrats. Always said they've been apoplectic about the prospect of government shutdown.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, as the president calls her. Communist know-nothing, as I call her, on MSLSD yesterday about the shutting down of the government. Cut 12, go.
Do you think that Republicans are going to get 7 votes in your chamber to carry this over the finish line?
I don't think so. So let's talk about it this way. Keep in mind what the real thrust of all of this is about. There is a giant fight going on.
That's your senator, DA. That's Massachusetts right there.
Claptrap.
Pocahontas.
Different ways. Is the Republicans want to give about $4.6 trillion in tax giveaways.
Okay,
to
ladies
millions
and gentlemen, no, they don't.
Tax giveaways.
They want to make sure that the tax cuts that have been in place for several years that you rely on stay in place. I mean, even Ronnie, one of our dogs, is fed up. He's barking at Pocahontas. He's saying, "What the hell's wrong with her?" I know how to interpret the barks of my dogs. He can't stand Pocahontas.
I can hear the dog.
He can't stand.
I don't know if you can.
He can't stand little Dick Durbin of Illinois. I know. I don't blame you. But I'm on the radio, Ronnie. I'm on the radio. You can tell all you folks out there with conservative dogs, Ronnie's trying to reach them right now. Trying to reach. In fact, he's scratching at the door. Because somebody forgot to put the gate up upstairs, but that's okay. We believe in free dog speech here. We certainly do. Oh, and by the way, you should have heard him earlier today. Is he pissed off at the Hamas supporter that we're trying to deport? There he goes. All I have to say is Hamas. You see that? He's been choking now over it. He's fed up with it. Yeah, I know. Yep, I got it. I'm with you, Ronnie. I'm with you, baby. We only have patriotic dogs.
I hope you can hear the dog barking.
Here's Elizabeth Warren on the floor today, face down in a ballot. No, actually on the floor of the Senate. Cut 13, go.
This is just.
And
This is
President
this is disgusting.
Why are you such a schmuck, lady? Just be honest. I mean, my dog can't stand you. I can't stand you. You get enough goofballs in Massachusetts who vote for you. I guess they like the entertainment.
DA voted for this person.
Veto President Elon Musk, like Biden.
Didn't you, DA?
Presidents. We don't even know who they were. Susan Rice, maybe.
Kenny boy.
Alex and George Soros. Yeah. He hates Soros too. Ronnie does. Wait till Toby gets down here. Oh my God, does he hate Soros, Mr. Producer? Hates him. Now we have Jasmine Crockett. And I want to apologize to Davy Crockett, who was a great patriot, tremendous patriot, that this lady stole your name. Stole your name. And she's on cable, boy. She's on cable everywhere. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Ronnie. Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett.
Cut 14, go.
Yeah, I'm going to say that we don't want the government to shut down. And frankly.
Well, you just voted for it, moron. Now we'll go to Bernie Sanders, Bernie the Red, who's roaming the country.
Bernie the Red.
Like a good communist organizer. We're organizing the resistance. Says the Stalin.
Hey, he's from New York City.
Says the guy who.
Oh, which borough?
What did he do?
Bernie Sanders.
Well, he had his honeymoon. That's been a blast. What do you think, Mr. Producer?
Bernie Sanders. This fucking guy's a freak.
Oh, yeah, he was having a blast there in Moscow. Bernie the Red, they organizing the resistance.
I bordered Vermont, but Vermont's a long ways from me.
More fraud, the more abuse. They're all for it, ladies and gentlemen. You got to understand it.
3.5 hour drive at least.
The billionaires, they got to get the money from the billion. I have a better idea. Let's get the money back from Botswana with the condoms or whatever the hell it was. That's a good idea. Or how about the group that got $2 billion? Stacey Abrams' favorite environment. Hey, I say we take that back. You want to go after billionaires? How come you never go after Soros? Huh? Gates. What? Buffett. Who? They've got more billionaires than we do. Isn't it amazing? You know why?
Right,
oligarchy. They finally learned the word oligarchy. They've been listening to my show. They never heard of oligarchy. What's that? I have an oligarchy? Is there a treatment for it? They're the ones who back the oligarchs. Let's move on from jazz.
Are you listening, Whippermano? I hope you are.
CNN. They wonder why they've been they bring this fool on, then they bring Bernie Sanders. Why would you bring a Stalinist on your program? Why are they defending a person who has links and supports the Hamas terrorists? This is American media today. This is CNN. This is MSNBC. This is the networks. How come we don't have an audience? How come we don't have any viewers? I mean, we go low. We bring in the dumbest, most moronic people we possibly can. We have Rachel Madcow. We have Al Sharpless. We've got, who else do we have? We got all kinds of weirdos, stupid people, low IQ for sure. I mean, that's the demographic we're going for. Why are our numbers thinking? Bernie Sanders, cut 15, go.
Well, he has called Social Security a Ponzi scheme.
And you have trashed your own country, you dumb bastard. Know what he meant by Ponzi scheme, ladies
Any
and gentlemen?
Bernie Sanders voters in here?
Not that Social Security per se is a Ponzi scheme, but what's been
My
done to
meter
Social
reads
Security
13.
by the likes of Bernie Sanders.
I was up to
See,
20 there a
Marxism is
minute ago.
Ponzi scheme. Economic socialism is a Ponzi scheme. Bernie Sanders is a Ponzi scheme. A liar about what the government can and cannot do.
I gotta plug this phone in.
He's called Social Security Ponzi scheme. Go ahead.
They have already laid off 2,500 employees of the Social Security.
So what? May I ask all you Social Security recipients out there, have you felt it? No, you haven't. Have you felt it? No, you haven't. Big corporations.
Hopefully they're gonna send me 2,500. I could use it.
Can somebody explain that to me?
$500, $2,500.
I think people probably every.
What did he say? Anything? What did he say there? Can you back that up ever so slightly? But I think he did.
I should be more greedy.
Anything. Go ahead.
That the calls we get in large numbers of people who say, I'm trying to get a hold of Social Security. Got a disability.
People weren't saying that before, you old man. Yeah, that's right. People can't get the Social Security Administration on the phone. Can't get the Medicare people on the phone. They're overwhelmed. It's not necessarily their fault. They can't get them on the phone. Can't get DMV on the phone. Can't get you on the phone, you jackass. You know? I don't know. That's Elon Musk's fault. That's Elon Musk's fault?
Catch me up.
No, that's your fault, Schmo. Go ahead.
Of anybody. And the reason is the Social Security Administration today is understaffed.
Yeah, so everything's understaffed. So why are you spending billions of dollars on crap? Where are the the 50 to $100 billion in Social Security? Bernie, where's the $500 billion that the federal government wastes every year, according to the GAO? Bernie, where is it all? Because we're understaffed, you see. We need more staff.
Staph infection.
I know.
Staphylococcus. It's a bacteria. I know my bacteria.
Except it's Mark's dog. We'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
I gotta go plug this in.
Hey y'all, it's Caitlin and Kay Brown here with Wayfair. As a growing family, one of our favorite things is Game Night Wayfair Edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture into 4 categories as you can. Ready? Go. Nice. You got 9 out of 11. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get a refund. Then you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes.
50 seconds. Someone's diagnosed with cancer. It's happened to you, someone you love. The American Cancer Society can help. Every today.
I just wanted to show it. All right, what we got going on here, Patrick?
For more information, visit safetysleep.nic.org. Sponsored by the United Rider Insurance.
Make every day better. Best life and sound your potential with the Ed Milo Show.
The quality of life by the quality of questions you have to go.
Favorite platform.
I'd go plug that phone in. What time is it? 8:24. Hey, Patrick, how come your friends don't come over and play cards with you like mine do? I only caught part of that. He said he was a sailor. He's got what, some type of caravan or something? Patrick. I've been dealing with that guy a lot longer than you have, unless you were in JC's chat that first year when she started. And I don't remember seeing your name. You did a pretty good job hiding yourself. I haven't. Yeah, it's up there on my screen.
Well, Ronnie actually flipped the hook on the gate and it was wide open. Very strange. See, the dog's smarter than Elizabeth Warren. And smarter than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, the Stalinist. It's a government for billionaires, billionaires. Shut up, you idiot. So we're trying to cut massive bureaucracy. Trump is trying to cut taxes on tips, trying to eliminate taxes on Social Security, trying to eliminate taxes on overtime, trying to allow tax deductions on loans, not just mortgage loans, and trying to give people support, financial support, who look after their elderly people at home. And in Bernie Sanders, what a billionaire. Billionaire. You know, we have a couple of very
How
nice.
come I never show my card players? Why are you responding to my question with a question? I asked you first. How come you never have any company?
Canada is the 51st state, Mr. Producer. Why don't we give them Vermont as an additional province? What do you think? All you conservatives say it's not going to happen, obviously.
Well, that means I've been dealing with JC a lot longer than you have too.
I mean, Canada is.
It's like you're riding my coattails right now. You're spamming my chat again.
Real free speech. It's the truckers. And we have conservative Canadians who listen to this program very angry with me. I don't know why.
You're not them.
I'm just buying a microphone.
Be thankful.
I have nothing against.
Because I'd probably time you out. That's why he won't come here. He's afraid of getting timed out.
Because they got mad at Trump and they denied the conservative the prime ministership. You voted for these dukes, not me. You had the chance to elect a guy that was very much like Donald Trump, who I think would have gotten along with Donald Trump. But you went for they went for a guy that's like Trudeau, but without the charisma. Can you imagine? Basically a bureaucrat. Oh, that's a good one. But I'm starting to think we need a different kind of movement in America. I mean, if we had, and I told President Trump this, why would we want Canada as a 51st state? It's more liberal than California. Did you know that, America? I think I mentioned that a week or two ago, didn't I?
Don't worry, JC. We don't really want you. We wish you'd just move back to Europe somewhere as you love it so much. Just move to England, JC. That's where you want to be.
A bunch of liberal members of Congress and all that. What are we going to do?
You can take the tunnel to France.
No, we don't need that. So I oppose President Trump on this. I have a better idea. Let's give them Vermont. It's a better idea. Get rid of the two communist senators.
It's getting close.
Communist Congress.
I'm in northern New York.
We visit Vermont. Vermont, please don't get me wrong. I've never been to Vermont. I think I raced through there once on the way to Maine. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. We love our affiliate there. We love the listeners to this program, but this isn't really about the listeners to this program who hate Colonel Sanders. Colonel, in the Red Army. He's the Colonel in the Red Army. That's what we'll call him from now on. Colonel Red Sanders, Colonel in the Red Army. Oh, country the billionaires, the Musks and the Bezos and the Zuckerberg. Isn't it amazing? All three of them used to be Obama supporters. All three of them used to be big Democrats. Now he calls them out. Notice who's not on his list. Soros. Why not Bernie? I'll be right back.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
Oh, it's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come. Visit ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Americans love using their credit cards. One of the most secure and hassle-free ways.
Patrick!
DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Tell Congress to guard your card because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Now taxes is using credit.
He ain't gonna come here. He ain't got the balls. He's like Bud, no balls. He's got no nuts. He needs JC.
Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Around the clock updates and uncovered.
Listen to this because this stuff is.
Patrick, you're just lucky. I feel sorry for the less fortunate. Because you are less fortunate, I can tell you that. There, Patrick Rowe. Did I say Charlie? I'm fucking hiring a kite. I understand why you spell it like that. Nobody's.
Your master password.
Just gave us the guns.
Can you
That's all he needs.
type that and so I can understand why you do that? Patty cakes.
Jackie Regiment, listen on your favorite platform.
I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. Now I'm finding better ways to cope.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
It's the second half of the basketball season this year, and if the race to the playoffs continues on Prize Picks.
Patrick, she's already been damned. She was damned a long time ago. She was damned the first year she went live.
Use the code ROAM and get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in bonus credit just for playing, and it's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Yeah, I wonder who Flying Brian is.
Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Baby should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib. And the sleep area
Not
should
really,
include
but
blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS. SIDS? You know, sudden infant death.
I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
School absences are often due to the absence of necessary resources. But when Communities in Schools is present, students are connected to the support they need to show up ready to learn. Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
Every time I feel my baby kick, you don't understand. I never sang. I'm not good at singing. I'm the only person I know who's been booed off a karaoke stage. But that was before I was pregnant. Today, I'm a singer. Captive audience of one. She doesn't boo me. She never will.
We know how it feels. We're the March of Dimes. Find out how we can help you have a healthier baby at marchofdimesbaby.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
There are a lot of things you can do to live a longer, healthier, happier life. Some of them, like eating better, getting more sleep, more exercise, I know they can be tough. Others, like practicing gratitude, not so much. Before you write this off as some nutty, crunchy suggestion, you should know that finding ways to be thankful each day doesn't just feel good. It is good for your health. Now, one of the easiest ways to do this is with a gratitude journal. All you got to do is open it up, jot down a few things that make you smile. Another option is something called Roses, Thorns, and Buds. This one works really well over a family dinner. What you do is you go around the table and you each say one positive thing and one negative thing about your day. And then you also say one thing that you're looking forward to. It's going to make you feel good. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Month radio show. The Vince Colonnade Show, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on 105.9 WM.
Patty cakes. He's here to blow the man. Patrick, you know what's happening, right? You're giving me a cyberspace blowjob, Patrick. That's exactly what you're doing. Other people have done the same thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats can't run on the truth. They have to run on lies. So they want you to believe that Social Security is under attack. Social Security is being untouched. But you believe Medicare is under attack. Medicare is untouched. But you believe Medicaid is under attack. Actually, Medicaid, the bums are going to be thrown off Medicaid. They're actually increasing it. Newt Gingrich put a post out by $168 billion with knocking the bums off of it. So what exactly are they talking about? And why do you believe these people? They lie like the media. They just lie to you. It's called propaganda. They're called demagogues. That's what it is. Unfortunately, it happens even in republics. Periods of economic uncertainty.
That's a big delay.
Diversification, that's the key, as we've talked about many times. Have you acted yet? I would encourage you to, you sit still, you don't act. Things happen to you that you can't control. I believe gold should be part of your diversified program. Unlike stocks.
How about that American flag? Right there. That's an American flag.
Knowing we have some. Gold has been a valued investment for thousands of years.
The pastor knew what I was doing.
That's why I invest in it.
Probably wouldn't want me to help him.
You diversify. Point. The old phrase I said the other day. You don't put all your eggs in the same basket, although the eggs cost a lot less right now, by the way. Call 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000. Check into this. Look into it. They're not going to bite you. When the stock market has its ups and downs like it has now, down.
Is it
a rock solid asset? Not just a hedge.
838.
A proven safe haven for your hard-earned money. If you're looking to help secure your your finances, now's the time, I think. Make sure you diversify and add gold. Don't wait until it's too late. Call our friends at Advantage Gold. They're the best of the gold companies. I've dealt with most of them. I know there's other people out there hawking other companies. I'm just telling you from my own experience. They're the experts that I trust, and they'll walk you through everything step by step.
Gotti! Where the fuck are you, Gotti, you stupid fucker?
908,000.
Come on, Gotti. I got something I want to ask you.
908,000.
I want you to do me a favor. I got a favor to ask.
Your future. Mark Levin.
You owe me a favor, Gotti. And I expect you to come and do it for me.
Oh, yeah. The gene pool, are we ready? Let's do it. Daryl, Reno, Nevada, on the Mark Levin app. We love Reno, Nevada. How are you, sir?
Great, Mark. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I would like to discuss Social Security insolvency. You've been the only pundit to call this out, and it's truly, it's a coming train wreck, isn't it?
There's 100%. 100%. Every trustee in the last 10 years.
Gotti had a brain attack. If there's such a thing.
Medicare is going to go 9 to 11 years. The first year where it doesn't have the assets to pay its liabilities, rather than 100%, recipients will be getting 79%. The following year, they'll get slightly under 50%, and it goes on and on. What the Democrats plan to do then is massively deficit spend more and massively increase taxes. They can't fix the problem. It won't fix the problem. The reform that's been proposed many times, and it's absolutely irrational, is that anybody who's on Social Security now is grandfathered in, they're untouched. Anybody who's 55 or older, because they don't really have time to plan for anything differently, they're grandfathered in. Anybody who's under that age, there's a phase-in period of time. The younger, the smaller the amount they would receive. As you get closer to 55, it increases. And so it is a very logical plan. It's based on the actuarial expectations and analysis of the population of the United States.
I turned that down, but I plugged the phone in. It's way over there.
Talk about it. The Democrats go nuts. The media go nuts. Senior citizens are scared to death. And so it gets killed in the crib. And so to Donald Trump's defense, he's got so much going on right now, and he's doing so much. It's not going to go broke while he's president. But that said, I fear what's going to happen, Daryl. I fear what's going to happen is it's going to go broke, and then they're going to have to figure out what to do with it. I think that's the only way politically it's going to get done.
Well,
and it'll be a it'll be a really horrific pill to swallow. Let me put it that way. The medicine's going to be brutal.
Absolutely. But, we can avoid this. So
we can avoid it, but we're not going to.
Well,
put it online and we'll look at it. Be happy to look at it. And I appreciate it, Darryl. We'll look forward to your proposal. Let's go to Moisha. Moisha. Brooklyn, New York, the great WABC. Yes, Moisha, how may I help you?
Thanks for taking my call, long time listener, first time caller.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say about the war in Israel and this whole hostage deal going on. I think it's wrong to talk about the hostages and I think that we have to like.
Always Bridget and Angela. He sounds like you, only with a man's voice. Same accent.
All the anti-Semites out there. You start with the Jews, you'll get destroyed. All around the
Slow down a second. What do you mean? These are families putting up kidnapped pictures and friends. You think they should pull them all down?
Well, the family itself of a hostage, I don't have any.
Well, the government's not putting them up. The people are putting them up. Organizations are putting them up. Synagogues are putting them up. Volunteers are putting them up. So number one, you're not really addressing what's taking place. Number two, if it's your point that when you're negotiating with Hamas and you keep talking about the hostages, what you're doing is you're giving them more reason to hold on to the hostages. You're giving them more reason to take more hostages. Is that your point that you're trying to make?
First of all, you're incentivizing. Yes, you're incentivizing them to take more hostages in the future. And also, I think it's insensitive to when you're releasing terrorists. First of all, it's a danger to.
I already spoke about this on this program. Nobody's talking to the families who lost loved ones who were murdered by the terrorists that they're releasing. Those families are affected too. So you'll get no argument from me on that. When you're releasing thousands of terrorists, the vast majority of whom are unrepentant, that means eventually more people are going to die and be maimed. I get it. But that's the situation. There's a political situation in Israel. They have to take it seriously. Benjamin Netanyahu is under attack constantly by the left, who in my view is now exploiting the hostage situation to try and take him down first and foremost because they're obsessed. They're unhinged like the left in our country. Thank you for your call, my friend. He's trying to get the hostages out without creating a scenario in which you're incentivizing the taking of hostages. But he's been pressured by the Biden regime. He was pressured by this envoy. Forget the guy's name. Never heard of him before. And, he's got to deal with reality. That's what he's got to deal with. So there we are. But the idea you take down all the signs, I don't agree with that. You got loved ones who are being heinously treated and were taken and so forth. I have no problem. It's like putting up these posters. And what does he expect families to do? Families of children and family members that have been taken hostage, of course they're going to want their family out. It's only rational for them. They're going to want the government to do more to get their family members out. It's only rational for them. You have a very unique man who is the ambassador to the United Nations from Israel. His man is Ambassador Liger. One of the first assaults on Gaza after the October 7 massacre, his son was a commander and 39 years old, and he was killed. He came on this program.
It's showing it right there.
He supported the Prime
That's
Minister of
fucking
Israel.
weird.
He said, we have to be tough in dealing with these people. We must be tough with these people. But they'll take more hostages and they'll kill more of the hostages that they have. He's now the ambassador to the United Nations from Israel. So there's a lot of, so it's a complex environment over there right now. It's a very difficult environment. It's very upsetting to so many people there, so many families there, and I get it. So we should take down the posters and take down. So we'll tell people to take down the posters. No, I don't think so. They want to have their posters up. I get it. They want to lobby the government. I get it. But Netanyahu and his government have to do what they think is right. There's been way too much external pressure on them. They know better than anybody else what to do. They look what the man's done, despite the fact that they're trying to throw him out of office. Not with an election, with a coup, a judicial coup. Look at Ehud Barak and the other sickening bastards over there. Dark money's been raised in our country and over there and in Europe to install a Lapid or a Gantz or these left-wing kooks who will give the storeway, who used to support a two-state solution and so forth and so on. Why? Because, they're just easier for the West to negotiate with. Well, that's not the test if you're the people of Israel or the United States for that matter. That's not the test. We'll be right back. Excuse me.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
How Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now, this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray.
Going to bed soon. Yep. I was up early, real early. And 8 o'clock I left, went to Malone, which is about 90 miles away, maybe, if it's that far. Way on the other side of Potsdam. Let's see, Potsdam 36, and then 18, right, 54, about 76 miles. Even further if I drove to Messina first. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I'm going to bed. Never, ever manly. Hey, Charlie, I don't know if you were around a while ago. It's been a long time. Empress Chinchilla was studying my chat patterns. Remember that, Empress Chinchilla? Empress Chinchilla. Remember that? Another chicken shit. Come over here and I'm lonely and everything. Empress, they got the goods on you over there. Rusty been sharing a lot with JT and Rain. Rain says you're creepy. I have to agree with her. You are pretty creepy. I don't creep on the women in these chats. I don't do that. Charlie does. Charlie's a creeper. Ziggy's a creeper. I made him confess on Wiggins' chat. Oh, with Rocky Goldman way back in Fox 46. He's not a veteran. That was even before JC went live. And then when she did go live, I remember JC. Oh, don't, Empress, you're always welcome on my stream, Empress. JC didn't even know who the guy was. I thought it was a girl. JC's not very smart. She thinks she is, but yeah, very. JC, I've outwitted you so many times. Fucking, I might as well take a vacation. JC, your best hope is that I do put a Harley on the road this spring and I go out riding around. And I'm not sitting here doing this. No reason for me to come up on your panel, JC. You did that. It's I'll be like Wiggin. Why should I bring you the number? You didn't support my chat. Meanwhile, Wiggins got his head stuck up your ass. Told you, Wiggin, not to do it to me. So it's over with. You got the girl. Hey, I'm going to bed. Good night.